When I look through and study the Word of God, I find that there's a really simple timeline that describes for us what's going to happen before Jesus comes. First of all, Israel would have to come back as a nation. 1948, then they would have to have Jerusalem. 1967, that's Zechariah 12. And that Jerusalem would become this intoxication, this cup of intoxication to the surrounding nations. And it would be an immovable stone. In other words, you cannot move the boundary stones. Don't move the boundaries of Jerusalem and try to create two states there. Now, the Bible describes that there will come on the scene one who will do what no one heretofore has ever been able to do. And that's to bring about peace finally to the Middle East. To bring Arab and Jew together in peace and security. And the first 3.5 years of the tribulation are going to be very peaceful. It's going to be a pseudo-peace. It's going to be a false peace because it's been orchestrated by and confirmed by the false Christ, the false Messiah, whom the world will worship and hail because he was able to do what no one was ever able to do. The general consensus amongst those world leaders, and even as it was echoed by Condoleezza Rice this last week, was that she's on her way, actually, as we speak, to the Middle East. And she has made it very clear that she's not after a ceasefire. Why? Because it would just be a thing where they would find themselves back at the table in 6 months. And what they're looking for is lasting peace, or, quote, an eternal covenant. In other words, stopping this Lebanon, Syria, Israel war will not bring about the peace that the Bible describes will be brought about. I believe it is the catalyst that will bring about this peace agreement. I could be wrong, but I believe that Israel will, vis-a-vis Lebanon, destroy Damascus. Make no mistake about it, militarily, they can do it before lunch with their eyes closed. It's a slam dunk. Militarily, they have the capability of doing it, and they probably will have to do it. Do you think Hezbollah is going to release the soldiers? You think they're going to go, oh, our bad, sorry, we'll stop firing the Iranian rockets into Israel? What were we thinking? I don't think so. Now, I'm about to introduce you to a man that has been just recently in the news, but not on your television screen. You can do a Google search. Maybe you've heard of him, maybe you haven't. His name, Javier Solana. This is a very powerful man. Some believe he's the most powerful man in Europe, out of the European Empire. He's on the world scene, has been. You've not seen him. You've not heard much about him. He's currently the European Union's High Representative for the Common Foreign and Security Policy and the Secretary General of both the Council of the European Union, or the EU, and the Western European Union, the WEU. He is more powerful than the President of the EU. He is more powerful than Kofi Annan of the United Nations. He is more powerful than George W. Bush, the President of the United States. It's interesting. The Western European Union. In 1995, Mr. Solana became the Secretary General of the 10-nation alliance known as the Western European Union, aka the WEU. There are 10 nations, only 10, that are categorized and classified as full nation status. 10 of them. and he is at the helm. He is the chief. And just recently, in fact, just in the past month, he announced the formation of a 7-year covenant to promote peace and security for Israel and the Middle East. Quote, I am pleased that the EU will launch a so-called governance facility. This will not be a cosmetic initiative, but one that over 7 years, not 8, not 6, 7. What a coincidence. Wow, this is amazing. Over 7 years will offer several $100 million to those countries that are making the greatest efforts concerning governance reform. Moreover, he goes on to say, quote, we Europeans have been working nonstop to promote a peace and security reform to go hand in hand. Now, it's really interesting because you got 3 indisputable facts. First, there's now a 10-nation military coalition called the Western European Union. Then you have a 7-year period being specifically discussed, as we've just seen with the quote from Solana. And it's also interesting to note that there's this European neighborhood policy known as the ENP, and this is a document which puts Dr. Javier Solana in place as High Representative, and this document is known as Recommendation number 666, and it was accepted on June 5th of the year 2000 in the 46th session of the Western European Union. Now, how come we've not heard of him? Again, the Antichrist cannot be revealed until the church is removed. Am I saying Javier Solana is the Antichrist? I'm not. I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he isn't. I just want to present to you some of the research that I think is apropos for our study of Matthew 24 when Jesus says to be watching. Now, I'm not watching for the Antichrist. I'm watching for Jesus Christ. But I know that if the Antichrist cannot be revealed before Jesus Christ comes for his church, and the Antichrist is already on the scene, that means that Jesus is coming for us soon, and I don't want to be caught off guard. And that's what I believe Jesus is saying when he says, watch. Watch the news. Watch the WEU. Watch Javier Solana. I've got pictures of him with every world leader on the planet. He's been behind the scenes for years, putting together his initiative, his plan, his peace plan. If it's not him, I believe without question that he is posturing and positioning the one that will come after him, that will be the one that will be the chief or the head of this 10-nation alliance. And this man, as Daniel says, will do exactly what he's already got the groundwork and the foundation and is doing. It is amazing. And you don't see him on the news. They don't put him on the news. I don't know why. It's interesting, some of the... by the way, I get this off the internet. And I'm no smarter than anybody else. I'm sorry, our 20 minutes is up. Okay, 45 minutes. Well, we're almost done. This from Hurriyet, EU Foreign Policy Chief Javier Solana in Lebanon. This was on Wednesday the 19th. The head of foreign policy for the EU, Representative Javier Solana, has gone to Lebanon to show solidarity and support for the country. Solana's spokesperson has said that Solana carried messages of support to the Lebanese people on his visit, and that there will be a meeting today in Brussels of the EU foreign ministers in which Solana will brief them on information gathered during his trip. This from People's Daily Online. Notice this is astonishing to me. The headline reads, Solana promises to end Middle East bloodshed as soon as possible.